Well, hello there. I'm Professor Joel, and welcome to another episode of Planet Scooby Reviews. You just caught me admiring this Scooby-Doo Snack Track CD. This came out in 1998, so we're looking at 21 years ago. And what's cool about it, it contains many of the chase scene songs used in Season 2 of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? It also has the Scooby-Doo intro titles to many of the episodes. Everything pretty much up to 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. Unfortunately, there's no a pup named Scooby-Doo on this. Now, this is out of print, but hopefully it comes out on vinyl, because vinyl is having a big resurgence right now, and this would be awesome on vinyl. Anyway, today's episode is Jeepers, It's the Creeper, and it is the 4th episode of Season 2 of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?, meaning it has a chase scene song. And this episode originally aired on October 3rd, 1970. And it features the mysterious creeper, who's this ghoul, like big, hefty kind of creature. You can see him behind me. He kind of disrupts the gang's school dance. If you'd like to own this episode, you used to be able to buy it on VHS, but you know, they don't make these anymore. This is a VHS copy of Scooby-Doo's Greatest Mysteries. So it was a fan-voted 4-episode series, and Jeepers, It's the Creeper appears on this VHS. Also, we have a clue for Scooby-Doo, Hassle on the Castle, and the Backstage Rage. I've covered the Backstage Rage if you're interested, and you can find it in a previous episode. So you probably can't buy it on VHS unless you hit up the thrift stores or eBay, but you can buy it on this Scooby-Doo Where Are You box set. This contains 3 seasons of Scooby-Doo Where Are You, 41 episodes, 15 hours of Scooby-Doo greatness. I highly recommend this for any Scooby-Doo fan if you don't own it already. There's also a Blu-ray version of this that comes in a haunted house instead of a mystery machine kind of packaging. I'll leave a link below where you can get both of these on Amazon. Who is the creeper? Well, if you don't know, don't watch my episode. Watch the actual original Scooby-Doo Where Are You episode first, because my episodes contain spoilers. Anyway, let's get on with it. A uniformed bank guard is driving through the countryside at night when he's stopped by a fallen tree that blocks the road. As he gets out to investigate, the green-faced creeper lumbers out of the bushes and approaches him from behind.
Hey, what's that? I'll have to move it.
Then we cut to the gang, who are on their way to an old farm where their school dance and a hayride is being held. Shaggy is super excited for the buffet, particularly the chocolate-covered corn on the cob.
Just think, like real chocolate-covered corn on the cob.
On the drive over, they come across the bank guard's car and they find him knocked out, and his car is also ransacked.
Wrecked nothing. This car's been ransacked.
The bank guard regains consciousness and he shoves this blank piece of paper into Freddy's face. Before passing out, the guard mutters, "The flame will tell the creeper."
The flame will tell the creeper.
Scooby finds a piece of paper with the bank president's address nearby the ransacked car. Realizing that he lives close, the gang drive to the president's house to get some help for the bank guard.
You did the proper thing by bringing the guard to my house. He'll be fine.
The bank president's name is Mr. Carswell, and at his house he explains the creeper is a phantom who's been robbing his bank. Each time the bank is robbed, the doors and windows have always remained locked. This means the phantom has the ability to walk right through walls.
The creeper is a mysterious figure that's been robbing our bank in the dead of night. He's a phantom. A phantom that can walk right through walls.
Freddy tries calling the sheriff, but is told the local sheriff will be out of town for the next several hours.
Speaking of help, the sheriff's out of town and won't be back for several hours.
Mr. Carswell then asks the gang if they found any clues.
Were there any clues to who did this?
The guard handed us this blank paper and mumbled, "The flame will tell the creeper."
I'll take care of everything.
To which the gang tell him that all they found was this blank piece of paper that the guard gave them. Promising to look after the guard, Mr. Carswell sends the kids off to their school dance. While everyone is having a grand time at the dance and Shaggy is enjoying his chocolate-covered corn on the cob,
Corn on the cob a la chocolate syrup.
the creeper sneaks up and throws the main breaker. This turns off all the electricity, meaning the lights go off and the music goes off as well. Everyone except the gang drive off to the local malt shop to continue the party. The gang instead stay behind to clean up, and Scooby and Shaggy, they take this box of paper plates or maybe styrofoam plates and they decide to throw it in the field. While they're out in the field throwing away their garbage, which isn't the most environmentally friendly way to throw away garbage, they bump into the creeper. The creeper demands the paper from them and chases the entire gang around the countryside. Backing this extended chase scene is the song Daydreamin', which is a song all about being in love with an ostrich. Of all the chase scene songs, this has to be my favorite. This is like the funniest and most catchiest song ever. During the chase, the gang are split up, with Shaggy and Scooby zigging one way and Freddy, Daphne, and Velma zagging another way. Also during the chase, Scooby makes friends with a baby chicken. After ditching the creeper, Freddy, Velma, and Daphne discover a car hidden in the bushes. While there's no identification inside, they do find several torn up photograph negatives on the floorboards. The gang reunites and they find some footprints, which leads to a rope bridge across a gorge. The bridge part is kind of furled up, so for a Scooby snack, Scooby tightropes his way across the bridge and unfurls it for the rest of the gang to get across. Inside the cave, they find the Hermit of the Hills.
I'm the Hermit of the Hills.
Who's a chatty and lonely old man living in the cave. While the Hermit of the Hills is friendly enough, his cooking of squirrel stew with pickled bat wings and crabgrass roots is so terrible that it scares the entire gang away.
Squirrel stew with pickled bat wings and crabgrass roots.
Not even Scooby and Shaggy want to eat this stew. Back at their mystery machine, they find the creeper behind the wheel of the mystery machine waiting for them.
The creeper!
The creeper chases them, and during the chase, everyone but Scooby falls into a hay baler. There, everyone is neatly bound up, meaning the creeper has been caught. Before freeing the gang, Scooby takes the mask off the creeper.
It's Mr. Carswell.
Unmasking the creeper, we find out that it is Mr. Carswell. Mr. Carswell has been robbing his own bank by stuffing his briefcase full of money during the day. Later on at night, he'd return as the creeper and run outside the bank in costume until someone saw him, so they think the bank had just been robbed by the creeper. However, the security guard had smartly installed a discreet infrared camera that caught Mr. Carswell in the act. I say discreet in quotation marks because you can clearly see this camera on the wall. So Mr. Carswell had to silence the guard before he was caught. The sheriff, he arrives and he apprehends Mr. Carswell, and he explains that he found the guard tied up in Mr. Carswell's basement. This probably means Mr. Carswell was planning on killing this poor guard.
I'll take care of everything.
Velma lights a match and she holds it under the paper the guard gave him, and this reveals Mr. Carswell's photograph stealing the money red-handed.
Watch. The flame will tell.
There's the creeper.
Satisfied, the sheriff drags Mr. Carswell off to jail and another mystery is solved.
Blasted meddling kids.
I give this episode a 10 out of 10. This is classic Scooby-Doo at its best. We get an interesting and entertaining villain, and as well, we get an interesting and intriguing plot. The jokes here are fantastic. The creeper himself is kind of rather scary. He's this big brute of a man with a scary face, and he's always kind of seen behind someone, just kind of grasping for them, almost catching them by the nape of their neck. I just love how he lumbers around too and just yells out, "Paper!" The mystery is also set up quite nicely at the start of the episode as who the creeper could be, and the fact that this takes place in the creepy countryside also adds to the spooky atmosphere. I also love how it wasn't raining in this episode for once. Not that I mind thunderstorms, it's just nice to have a change of pace here. It's no wonder that this episode often makes everyone's top 10 favorite classic Scooby-Doo episode list. Anyway, that wraps up another mystery. If you like this episode, feel free to hit the like button or the subscribe button. A new episode comes out every Saturday. Also, if you want to request an episode, leave a comment below or on my website, planet-scooby.com. Until next week, stay spooky.